This is as pretty unique as it gets, because I'm on Triumph's new Scrambler 400X. This is their new single cylinder 400cc completely new model, built in partnership with Barjar in India, and this is a completely new category for Triumph. 2 new models, and we're on the 400 Scrambler X. We are in the UK, in the Cotswolds. This is kind of like the heart of England, and I'm literally the first person outside of Triumph to ride this exclusive new model. And yeah, it doesn't get any more exclusive than this. The bike isn't going to be launched until well into November, but we've got a unique opportunity to ride the bike early on. We're a couple of hours from the Triumph HQ. We're in the Cotswolds, and this is the 400X. So the X model shares the same 400 single cylinder platform as the Speed, but we've got the same suspension but with longer travel suspension, and we've got different size wheels. We've got that 2 exiting exhaust that you can see on the lead rider in front of us. The first impressions of the 400X, I mean, it's obviously a Triumph, but it feels like a Triumph even if you remove that bit. It feels like it's part of the Triumph range. It doesn't feel like something that's made in India with the Triumph badge on it. It feels like a Triumph. The clocks are actually quite informative, quite neat. I mean, this bike is going to be priced against the Royal Enfield. But yeah, those clocks are neat. I've got an information button here on my left thumb. It's not vibey. You can definitely feel it's on bigger wheels when you move it around, but it's light. The ride feels good, and yeah, it's a 400 single, but like when you ride some 400 singles, they feel really, really underpowered. This doesn't feel. That doesn't feel underpowered, but we'll try it a bit more once we get on the open roads. So, bit of dual carriageway, 60 miles an hour, 6,000 RPM or 100k. Knock it back a few, 4th. That's got some poke. It's only a single, but she's happy with that. Do that again. We'll go back to 4th. 4. Yeah, revs out about 10. But that's 60. I mean, in 5th there. That's quite a steep uphill gradient we're going on now. 60 miles an hour. That's more power and more drive than I thought it would have. Sounds pretty good too. Yeah. See if we can give it another one out the this roundabout at the top. Get past this truck. Yeah, that is that's more than I was expecting, put it that way. I mean, the kind of bike that it's compared to is the 350 from Enfield that I've ridden before. I rode that on the world launch, funnily enough. And it's difficult because obviously I rode that bike in Bangkok in city commuting traffic, and I'm riding this on the open road in the UK, but this feels like it's got more drive. Let's try it third, see what we rev out at. Yeah, I mean, it's not slow, it's not 125. That has definitely surprised me. Try the same down here, drop that 4. Yeah, that's good. Even in like 5th, this is fun. I don't feel like I'm making a sacrifice for having a single cylinder. I mean, that's a steep hill and it pulls cleanly. Don't feel like I'm towing a caravan. So Triumph haven't told us the price yet. All they've said is the Scrambler is going to be competitive to bikes like the BMW. I mean, there's not a lot of Scrambler single cylinder 400cc bikes out there. But if the price is competitive to like the 350R from Honda, the 350 single from Enfield, then when you ride it, it's difficult to see where they've scrimped on the costs. I mean, obviously it's going to be made in India, it's in partnership with Bajaj, but it's not using bits that already exist. But this engine is unique to this bike and this model. This isn't an engine that appears in a different model somewhere else in the world and is put into this bike. This has been developed with this link between India and the UK. And everything on this bike is unique to this bike. Again, nothing's really stolen from anything else. You can see that they've carried on the Triumph design element, but the ride quality is good. Gearbox feels good. We've got proper Metzler Karoo rubber as well. We've not got something that was made in India or something unrecognisable. So we've got quality suspension. On this we've got ABS that we can switch off. Yeah, it doesn't feel like I hate the expression budget or cheap. Come on Gareth, give it a handful. Yeah, that's got a poke to it. When I'm not using full throttle, and that is a steep hill, and it's driving up pretty effortlessly. Stability's good. Yeah, the ride quality is pretty good. Yeah, there's nothing that goes, oh my god, that's cheap. Switch gear, the clocks, the rev counter. I think the brakes are lacking a little bit of bite, but this is a pre-production model, so I'm unsure of what pads and what disc. I know this is a bigger disc on this model than the standard. I mean, they're good, but it's like 2 and 3 fingers, it's not 1 finger. I tell you what, the clutch is incredibly light. The riding position, yeah, this is not, it doesn't feel like a 250 or a 350, like some 250s and 350s feel like a flimsy toy. This feels like it's got metal. It feels like it was made out of metal. It feels mechanical. And I'm rather enjoying that rasp of the exhaust. It's not loud, but there's a few, you know, you just feels a little bit more involving because you've got a bit of a few decibels. It doesn't sound like a hairdryer in a hotel. So we've just finished a small little quick spin on the Scrambler 400X. New for 2023, on the same 400 single cylinder platform as the standard motorcycle, but this is the Scrambler version. So the Scrambler version gets a larger 19-inch front wheel, off-road Karoo tyres, the off-road styling, the two-piece seat. We've got longer travel suspension, higher bars, the handguards, and we're on Metzler Karoo tyres. So we've still got quality tyres there, and little styling tweaks like the two protruding exhausts rather than the single. In terms of size, the seat is taller. Obviously, we've got longer travel suspension, we've got a little bit more room between the seat and the foot pegs, so taller, larger riders may prefer it. For me, it feels not that entry level, it feels more like a 600. It actually feels a little bit larger than I think Ducati's Scrambler. It'd be interesting when we get the bikes together. It handles different as well to the standard bike. The brakes are not as strong, even though the disc is larger because there's different pads. These are a little bit more forgiving, and you can turn the ABS off on this model, but you can't on the standard model. The seat is a little bit on the tall side. I think people under 5'5", 5'6" are going to prefer the standard bike than this bike, but personally for me, I prefer the styling of the 400X and the big bike feel of the 400X over the standard model. The engine is exactly the same, just under 40 HP, exactly the same as the standard model, exactly the same torque. Gearing is almost identical once you take into consideration the wheel sizes and the tyre circumference. If you missed the review of the standard model, the engine is really strong for a single, between 3 and 8,000. It's got lovely mid-range, lovely fueling. It'll comfortably cruise at 70, even 80 miles an hour. But it's that drive in 5th gear from 40 miles an hour is really, really nice for a single. You don't have to be dancing up and down on the gearbox. It just pulls cleanly and lovely. This is a lovely kind of bimble along the back roads. Have a nice enjoyable ride. It's the bike that you want in the back of your garage when you just want to chuck on a pair of jeans and a jacket and just go for a 20-30 mile bimble. And we've only had a little play off-road, as you can tell by a few of the marks. And as I say, this is just a little first impression of the prototype. We're going to get to ride the full version in November. We'll have a long day in the saddle where we can test other stuff like ergonomics and comfort. But in terms of first impressions, it's a thumbs up for the 400.